Thank you. I'd like to call to order a special meeting of the Transportation Authority of Marin Board on July 9th, 2018. Turning it over. Any public open time for something not on the agenda?
Correct.
Do you have a quorum?
Yes,
we do.
we have 9. Once we got Gary away from talking with you. Okay, we'll close public open time and move to our business item.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. On April 26th, you took action to approve a final transportation sales tax renewal expenditure plan. After the adoption of the plan, staff was directed and has succeeded in seeking and obtaining approval of 11 of our 12 jurisdictions. The last jurisdiction, Sausalito, will be seeking approval on July 17th. We are here this afternoon to ask that the board make a finding of CEQA exemption on the adopted final sales tax renewal expenditure plan and authorize the filing of the notice of exemption in accordance with CEQA guidelines. Note that we have been in consultation with county counsel and outside counsel regarding this action, and who are in concurrence with the recommendation from staff. This plan is not a project as defined in section 15378 of California Environmental Quality Act guidelines dated 2018 and is therefore exempt from CEQA requirements. The project and programs that are included in the plan will be required to consider CEQA before proceeding, and in fact, the plan so states that on page 35, projects funded with these transportation sales tax funds will be subject to completing the appropriate California Environmental Quality Act required actions and other environmental reviews as required. The plan itself establishes an eligibility framework for projects and programs. As a group of projects and programs, it does not constitute direct authority to proceed. Approval of the plan does not commit, therefore, to the final implementation of any specific project or activity prior to commencement, as mentioned, of any project or program. All applicable provisions of CEQA shall be completed. The standing of sales tax expenditure plans being exempt, it has been firmly established by law. We are requesting you confirm the finding of exemption, and per CEQA guidelines, section 15062, direct staff to file the notice of exemption triggering a 35-day statute of limitations for any challenges to the exemption. There's no fiscal impact associated with this action, and staff will proceed to file the notice of exemption upon your approval of the finding. And that concludes the staff's report regarding this action.
So to just summarize, the CEQA exemption is not applicable because the plan is not a project under CEQA.
That's correct.
Okay, and our county council agrees with that.
That's correct.
Okay, all right. Are there questions? And you are asking for the resolution to be approved?
Correct. We have provided you a resolution summarizing what was recommended in the staff report that you received, and that is the staff recommendation to approve resolution 2018-05.
All right, are there questions? Please, Katie.
So in 2004, did we file a similar exemption?
Yes, the managers in charge at the time and county council filed a similar exemption at that time.
And then other counties that have adopted similar transportation expenditure plans in recent years, have they also proceeded with the same understanding of the law?
Yes, they have.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Yes,
I'll just
please,
make a
Gary.
very quick comment. I agree, I didn't bring my stuff, but I did have a discussion with our city manager this morning on the issue and concurs. I appreciate the report, and at the appropriate moment, I'm ready to make a motion after you hear from the public.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no further comments, we'll open to the public. Is there any public comment? Yes, please.
I do want to make a notice that we did receive a letter dated today that you should all possibly have a copy of.
I think
I hope you all received a copy from the Transportation Solutions Defense and Education Fund, TransDef. So we will include that in the record.
Okay, very good. If you give your name, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I'm David Schoenbrunn with the Transportation Solutions Defense and Education Fund, TransDef. Some of you I haven't met previously, but I'm a very long-time activist and environmentalist that has focused on transportation. The sales tax plan is striking in the absence of any effort to reduce transportation GHGs. The unmistakable subtext of the plan is that climate change doesn't apply to Marin. This is a variety of denial. It suggests our way of life can seemingly continue unaffected despite climate change. And contrary to that, catastrophic wildfires are now starting to intrude into that denial, that the covering is getting thinner and thinner. To get TAM to treat climate change with the deadly seriousness it deserves, TransDef submits the letter in front of each of you and the attachment, providing the legal basis to overturn the plan's purported eligibility for an exemption from CEQA. In the memo, we allege that the plan will result in a significant environmental impact. Namely, it will impede the state's effort to reduce GHGs by 40% by 2030. That's SB 32. And that's because Marin's VMT per capita keeps increasing, as indicated by the evidence before you. TransDef recognizes that GHG reduction will require the active cooperation of the public. However, neither TAM nor other transportation agencies have provided the needed leadership to educate the public about how each person's travel decisions affect total GHG emissions. We want to see that change. TransDef very much wants to see TAM take on a climate leadership role, and we don't mind being blamed for pushing you to go there. That would be a great outcome. We'd like to see TAM repeat the tremendous achievement of advancement of planning that resulted from Marin's 1973 countywide plan. We believe that many of you would like to provide leadership in climate, but don't see a practical way forward. Today's vote on this exemption can be the start of a new climate responsive expenditure plan. Let's be clear that the bone that was thrown to EV advocates is only part of a climate solution. If people drive EVs the way they drive gas-powered cars, namely alone, that means that congestion just keeps increasing and heading directly towards gridlock. Excuse me. So far more important than electrification is VMT reduction. What's needed is policy direction from your board calling for a new expenditure plan that is focused on reducing VMT. That would be far better than deceiving the public about reducing congestion, which is entirely fictitious, and it is the cornerstone of this expenditure plan. That's the way to honor future generations that will come after us. I urge you to vote no on approving this exemption, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there any further public comment? All right, seeing none, we will bring it back to the board for discussion and a vote. Comment? Vote? Yes, Mr.
Just one
Hillman.
comment. I've listened carefully to this public comment, and while I couldn't agree more with the end game, I see no benefit in making our main freeways parking lots with idling vehicles until we figure this out. So I'll be voting in support of the expenditure plan as we've designed, and look forward to having us discuss climate change and adaptation strategies, which are very important.
I certainly have a great deal of respect for the speaker, David, but I think that it misses the mark from the standpoint of what we're asked to do this afternoon, which is to recognize the expenditure plan for what it is, merely a plan. Before any segment of that, before many segments of that would proceed, obviously have to comply with CEQA, and I think that's the appropriate time for the discussion that might have been prompted by David. I don't think that's our current charge, and I think that we do have an obligation to our community to provide for a number, and this does, a number of transportation modes to accommodate the community. So I too will be voting in favor.
Are there any other comments? I would just add my own, that climate change is very important to me. We have built in flexibility in this measure to allow jurisdictions to move forward with their own greenhouse gas reducing strategies, and have provided for those. And this is a changing landscape, and I don't think anything's fixed right now that could be reworked into this plan other than more money into the plan. So I'll be voting in support of the resolution.
And also
Cal?
move the resolution.
Yes. Okay, we have motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everyone, for making a special effort to come. We are adjourned.
Thank